Hey, it's Matt. I just received a package from BookOutlet, which is exciting, so we're going to film a little book haul. I am also super surprised that this got here so soon, because I just ordered it maybe like 3 days ago, something like that. And despite ordering it 3 days ago, I don't actually remember what's in here, except for no one, because I wanted a copy. But aside from that, no idea. So, let us see what's in here. So first up, we have The Hero Born by Jin Young. This is a book that I've been wanting to start for a while. I think it's about it takes place in China, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of about an old mercenary who used to be a palace guard. And he's being lured back to the Empire for a mission. After his father, a devoted patriot of the Song Empire, is murdered, Guo Jing and his mother flee to the plains to join Genghis Khan and his people. His mission to learn everything he can from the warlord, whose name will become legend, whose army will someday restore China's glory. But what he doesn't know is that he's destined to battle an opponent who will challenge him in every way, one with a connection to his past that no one could have possibly imagined. So no, that's not at all what I thought it was about. I think I'm thinking of a different book. The one by Kate Elliott. But yeah, I'm actually stoked to read this. I have had it on my wish list for quite a while, so I'm glad. My only complaint is that it's so short. Generally, I'm of the opinion that if a book is like less than 500 pages, then what's the point? But I'm sure it's going to be good. Then we have Demon in Silver by R.S. Ford, book 1 of War of the Archons. Not a clue what this is about. I remember reading it and being intrigued on the little description, but in a world where magic has disappeared, rival nations vie for power, and a continent devastated by war, when a young farm girl, I hate young farm people stories, Livia demonstrates magical powers for the first time in a century, there are many across the land that will kill to obtain her power. But Livia finds that guardians can come from the most unlikely places and that the old gods are returning to a world that they abandoned. I'm intrigued. Then we have Labyrinth of the Spirits by Carlos Cristofon, who I talked about in one of my last videos. I love the Cemetery of Forgotten Books. I have The Shadow of the Wind, which is my second favorite, and then I really wanted Labyrinth of the Spirits, which is the best one of the bunch in my opinion. However, lots of people, maybe not lots of people, but I've definitely seen a couple reviews on BookTube about people not liking this one that much, which is surprising because it ties the whole rest of the story together, and then like the very end chunk narratively kind of feels like it explains the whole series in a sense. No spoilers or anything, but yeah, this is my favorite of the series, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous. Then we have A Conjuring of Assassins, which is the sequel to An Illusion of Thieves by Kate Glass, and the first book, it takes place in this Italian-inspired city on the Costa Drago, and basically magic in this world is heretical, and magicians need to be like burned at the stake essentially. And we are following a young courtesan who was kicked, who basically asked her patron, the lord of the city, to spare her family because a family member committed a crime. And so he kicks her out, and then she has to go back to being poor. And then when she finds out that there is actually a kind of plot against Sandro, her lord, she, Rami, and then 3 partners use their magic to foil the plan. And then kind of same deal with this book. And I think it's just such a fun series. I really like the magic, and it's well written. It's just like a very fun little book that you can speed through super easily. I would say it would take you no time at all to binge both books back to back. Like, they're just really, really fun and easy to get through. Then, this is a book I've been meaning to read for a while, and that is Blackwing by Ed McDonald. This is a book that I think I might have started once because it was like on Kindle Unlimited or something, but then I needed space, so I ended up returning it in exchange for another book, since you can only have 10 Kindle Unlimited books at a time. And then I just never got back to it. But I remember being very, very intrigued in the beginning, and so I'm excited to get back to this. This should be good. I've heard very good things about this series too. This one, oh, this is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. And the type's not even like that small. Okay, so this is Dark Soul by Anna Stephens. The first book is called Godblind, and I remember that book being like chunky. I remember seeing it at bookstores, and it was chunky. It was hardcover then, but like I'm surprised that this one is so short. But this takes place. But the first book is essentially about an invasion from the north by some kind of like savages who worship the old gods, the gods of blood and violence and war and whatnot. And so you're following an escaped slave who has returned to her own people. And then you're following a whole bunch of other characters. And that book is super easy to get through because I swear the chapters feel like they're only like 5 pages long each, which might be a con to some people since it feels like you can't necessarily dive that deeply into some things. But if you're looking for something to binge, the fact that it changes chapters like every couple pages makes it super easy to get through. And so yeah, I'm excited to get to this. However, it has been quite a while since I read Godblind, so I might need a little bit of a refresher. I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited, and this also has a very gorgeous cover. Next up, we have Blackfish City. I feel like this is an Afro cyberpunk book. After the climate wars, a floating city is constructed in the Arctic Circle, a remarkable feat of mechanical and social engineering, complete with geothermal heating, blah blah blah. The city's denizens have become accustomed to a roughshod way of living. However, the city is starting to fray along the edges. Crime and corruption have set in. The contradictions of incredible wealth alongside direst poverty are spawning unrest, and a dangerous epidemic nicknamed the Breaks is spreading, ravaging the population. When a strange new visitor arrives, a woman riding an orca with a polar bear at her side, that is badass, the city's entranced. The Orcamancer, as she's known, very subtly brings together 4 people, each living on the periphery, to stage unprecedented acts of resistance. By banding together to save their city before it crumbles under the weight of its own decay, they will learn shocking truths about themselves. This is something that I was very intrigued about when I first heard about it. It's definitely been out for quite a while. Is the author Canadian? Because this cover is giving me Aboriginal art. I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by this one too. And then last up, we have My Baby. One of my favorite books ever. Cover's a little dusty. Actually, no, it's not that bad. No Mon by Nick Harkaway. Check out my last video if you want to know what this book is about. I also check out that video and give it a like because getting that video to work nearly gave me a drinking problem. I describe it in that video, but in case you didn't watch that, then I'm going to describe it again here, and also, since this is the actual official blurb of the book, it might make more sense than what I said. Or it might be worse, who knows. In the world of Nomon, citizens are constantly observed, and democracy has reached a pinnacle of transparency. Every action is seen, every word is recorded, and the system has access to its citizens' thoughts and memories, all in the name of providing the safest society in history. When suspected dissident Diana Hunter dies in government custody, it marks the first time a citizen has been killed during an interrogation. The system doesn't make mistakes, but something isn't right about the circumstances surrounding Hunter's death. Miliki Neef, a trusted state inspector and a true believer in the system, is assigned with finding out what went wrong. immersing herself in neural recordings of the interrogation. What she finds isn't Hunter, but rather an array of characters within Hunter's psyche. A lovelorn financier in Athens who has a mystical experience with a shark, a brilliant alchemist in ancient Carthage confronting the unexpected outcome of her invention, an expat Ethiopian painter in London designed with creating a controversial new video game, and a sociopathic disembodied intelligence from a distant future. Embedded in the memories of these impossible lives lies a code that Nath must decipher to find out what Diana Hunter was hiding. In the static between these stories, Nath begins to catch glimpses of the real Diana Hunter, and alarmingly, of herself. The staggering consequences of what she finds will reverberate throughout the world. A dazzling panoramic achievement. And yeah, they actually do a very good job explaining this. But I'm so excited to actually have a physical copy of this book because I loved it when I read it earlier this year. And despite it only being a few months since I read it, I honestly might dive back into it fairly soon. The reason I want a physical copy is so that I can actually like make tabs and highlight and write in this book because it is full of so many brilliant ideas and it's quickly shot its way up to one of my favorites. I'm super excited to read his other book, The Gone Away World. That was his debut, and I have that in my Audible library, so I am stoked to get to that. But those are all the things I ordered from BookOutlet. I hope that some of these have intrigued you, and definitely watch my last video if this one has interested you at all. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Later.